In a way, it ends where it begins.
Very insightful.
Thank you for sharing this Red Baron with us, Linda. It's so tasty, it makes me want to share something of my own. I didn't actually read the book.
Me neither.
I watched the movie last night.
I judged it by its cover.
I haven't read a book since middle school.
I'm secretly seeing 2 other book clubs.
And I can't even read.
I'm not really Gary. He just paid me to be here. Sharing Red Baron pizza can lead to more sharing.
Have I Got News for You is back for another season. Roy Wood Jr., Amber Ruffin, and Michael Ian Black are finding the funny in the week's biggest stories. Have I Got News for You returns Saturday at 9 on CNN and stream next day on Max.
I think you're on mute.
Workday starting to sound the same?
I think you're on mute.
Find something that sounds better for your career on LinkedIn. With LinkedIn Job Collections, you can browse curated collections by relevant industries and benefits, like flex PTO or hybrid workplaces, so you can find the right job for you. Get started at linkedin.com/jobs. Finding where you fit. LinkedIn knows how.
Hello there.
Hello, Poppet.
You know what today is?
No.
You're dressed for the occasion.
Valentine's Day?
Yeah.
The insurrection?
Pick one. That's in February.
Woo! Oh, it's your birthday.
It's Valentine's Day, but my
I was
birthday's
right.
in 2 days.
Hell
2
yeah.
days. You wouldn't be wearing red for my birthday.
No, I wouldn't. I'd be wearing pink.
Mm-hmm. 2 days for Melissa's birthday.
Yep. Woo! I wonder what we'll be doing.
You're going to get pushed.
And that's my duty. It's Black History Month and it's your birthday.
Uh-huh.
And it's even a Valentine's Day treat.
And I am Black History. Did you know? I'm the first Black cheerleader at Springdale High School.
Ooh. Were you a flyer?
Absolutely not.
That's crazy. Who the fuck was smaller than you?
We were the same. Actually, she was taller than me. I think I've told this story before. I didn't trust none of them bitches and I would not fly.
Facts. Fair. But like, I just couldn't picture, like, if anyone taller than you, it was a child. Like, you're throwing up a 7-year-old.
Me and my base partner.
You were a full base. You weren't even a spot?
No, we were the same height. And then our back base, she was much taller. She's probably taller than you.
Yep.
And then our flyer, she was a little bit taller, but she was very small.
Okay.
Also, I was ripped.
No, you have that kind of body type that like you get muscular.
Mm-hmm.
You're like just naturally very muscular.
Yeah.
And it's crazy because you didn't grow up swimming, and that's usually like a swimmer body type.
But gymnast.
Oh, true.
I didn't do full gymnastics, but I was tumbling.
Yeah.
And running track too.
Oh, okay. So, little fucking bodybuilder.
Yeah.
Crazy. There I was at musicals. Well, happy almost birthday, cheerleader.
Thank you.
Rah, rah.
I didn't say that.
Sis boomba.
Shish kebab?
Shish kebab. Ugh, that makes me hungry.
I love a kebab.
Me fucking too.
Meat and onions.
So good. I love a slow roasted meat.
Mm-hmm.
Don't give me quick meat. No. No. Well, welcome to another episode of Don't Blame Me, where we give you wonderful, amazing, life-changing advice. And it's a call and advice podcast, but we also accept emails. You don't have to be in the United States. If you are in the United States, you can give us a call at, well, you might be able to do that in Canada. I don't know. Wherever it is.
I mean, you can do it anywhere, but it's just going to cost you more money.
Yeah, so I'm trying to remember. But
you got to
Google
put in
voice
the code.
Number.
Yeah.
Yeah. Google voice number 310-694-0976. And then international listeners, you can send us an audio message to meghanpodcast@gmail.com, or you don't have to be international to that. You can do an audio message regardless. But we also accept written versions that are under 300 words in our email, well, and our DMs. And we have a submission form now.
Mm-hmm. And the link is in our Instagram bio as well.
Hell yeah. So, we take it all. We don't accept Klarna. We don't accept.
I would accept Klarna.
I would do. Klarna? Trixie and Katya, that Klarna was a sponsor for a very long time, and they decided for fun at some point that Klarna was a Swedish brand. I don't think it even is. And so they would just talk with Swedish accents. And then I'm pretty sure Klarna sent them to Sweden. And now they have this like very strong Swedish fan base.
Incredible.
which is really
Oh,
funny.
no, it is Swedish.
Oh, okay. I thought it was Scandinavian. I thought it was like from Denmark
It's
or something.
a Swedish fintech company. So
Yeah. So they like really loved that part of it. They really aligned with that.
love it.
So that is that's what our show's about. You have to keep it under 3 minutes. I think I said, maybe I didn't, but we have to age over, have your parents' permission. Keep it under 3 minutes if you're recording a voice memo or a voicemail. We ask that you do include your age, not just tell us you're over 18, because it, it doesn't depend on that. It is all anonymous, so use fake names, aliases for people, and just give us as many details as possible that, you would want someone to have so they can give you the best advice. If you only give us certain details, we can only really give you a certain advice, and you're calling us or writing into us because you want our input.
I will say a lot of people have been writing in and not keeping to the 300 words or less, and I've been going through and
oh yeah,
but I've been going through and cleaning it out, and so there might be details missing, and that's not my fault.
Yeah,
you've been warned numerous
when
times.
someone else has to edit it for you, you might not like the result.
Mm-hmm.
So
it might seem unimportant to me, but be important to you.
It might behoove you to go through with that red pen at first.
Mm-hmm.
So, shall we fuck up some shit? Oh, we're also on Patreon if you want to watch a video version or support the show. You can just join the live streams. We hang out. It's a good time. But again, there's the video versions of the pod there. And we also have merch.
Yes.
And remind me, I made a couple of other like samples, not like the final ones, but just like some possible and potential ideas. So check the back end later.
Love it. All right. Let's get into the first. I'll read it. I'm 32, she, her. I've been with my boyfriend, who's 35, he, him, for 4 years. For Valentine's Day, he asked me what I wanted. So I sent him a list of items ranging in price, along with links to the exact items and notes specifying my size, color, and any other relevant details. I thought this would be foolproof, but he suggested that it would be easier for him to just give me the money and let me choose what I want. I believe this approach takes away my excitement and joy of gift-giving process. If I were simply buying the item myself, I wouldn't need his financial assistance. This whole situation low-key pissed me off. I'm at a loss for what to do. Any advice would be greatly appreciated.
Divorce him and you're not even married. That would be my advice.
Like, what's the fucking point?
No, because to me, this is so indicative of like this kind of dad. Like, this is like, it is just like this is the level that like a shitty checked out parent gives their partner who like pulls all of the weight once they have like 4 kids. And I'm like, and you're getting that treatment as a boyfriend.
Yeah.
No, that's like such a hard pass for me because like, it's so like, why bother even asking then what you're going to get me? Because then it's like, you did all the work of research of these things that you want and you send that and it goes, that's too much effort. Can you actually just like buy it? I'll give you like, he's not your fun aunt. Like, that's fucking weird. Or
your sugar daddy. This is your boyfriend that you want him to put thought into. Like, you gave him a variety of options. This pisses me off too.
This would really piss me off. And like, there's a difference, I think, between not loving something and exchanging it and then using that money to get something else that you like. But another thing to be like, I'm not even going to try. I'll just give you cash. That's fucking weird.
Yeah.
Like, imagine opening a Valentine's Day card from like your boyfriend and it has cash in it.
Unless that's what you want. Like, some people don't, but you put in all this effort to give him options and he's putting in zero effort.
That's the part that I find the most insulting because it's like, it's one thing to be like, hey, I know you really want, like, and like Mott's has done this for gifts for me before, being like, I know you want this. I'm not sure exactly which one. I thought we'd go try them on or you can, whatever. And so like and his family's very big on that too. They'll like print a picture and a card or whatever, or do anything like that. To me, that is like, well, the thought is executed and it's there. And it's something like we can go together to go get this thing. And like, he likes getting gifts like that, where like sometimes like instead of just getting clothes, he's like, what's it, like a shopping day? He like, that's fun. And I'm like, love it. But like, this is like he asked you what you wanted. You did what he wanted, which is to tell him what you want. And then he goes, but he didn't fucking finish reading the list. He goes, too much effort. I'll just give you cash. That is like so fucking, he asked you to do work and then said, I don't want to do work.
Yeah. And it's not.
Then don't even ask. Just give me cash then. Why the fuck did you ask what I wanted?
Right. And like you said, if you just wanted to buy something, you could just buy it yourself.
And also like, in general, people thinking that like, oh, cash is like the best gift. Yeah, cash is a wonderful gift when you need cash. And because you're going to use that cash, to cover your rent, to cover whatever. When it's supposed to be a gift and you don't
Valentine's Day gift.
Yeah. And it's like if you're going to get the cash, vast majority of us are not actually going to spend it on something to treat ourselves. We're going to use it for something practical or to cover a bill or whatever that is. And like, that is something that we have to already do with our own money in our own lives. And so like when someone else gets the opportunity to treat us and to then like dangle that in front of you and then be like, psych, here's some fucking quarters. I'd be so mad.
I hope you're listening to this on Valentine's Day. And if you got him a present, take it back.
Yeah.
And keep the cash and be like, here's my cash and fuck you.
Like, this makes me so mad.
No effort.
Zero. And it's only going to get worse.
Yep. And you've been together 4 years, is that what they said? Yep. Absolutely not.
I'd be so mad at Mods.
All right. Next one.
Hi, Meghan and Melisa. I'm 21, she, her, writing because I want your advice on how to end a friendship with Chloe, 21, she, her. We've been friends for a decade and went to the same school our entire lives and moved to a university together. She moved away from our hometown after graduating, flight attendant, whereas I'm in a very 9-to-5 corporate role. We currently have nothing in common, and I think it's just exacerbating the shallow nature of our friendship. I acknowledge I struggle with sharing emotionally and putting myself out there, but she's very disloyal and fickle. Ooh, what ways to describe that? Dang. She's also funny and generous, but as I get older, I struggle to put up with her inconsistency. She really wants me to visit, and it would cost me a minimum of $400 on flights. I feel it's shitty of her to demand me to visit as I've just started a new job, so I have no money, and I'd be spending holiday days on what would realistically not be a holiday. Maybe this is an analogy for our entire relationship. I'd like to avoid a confrontation, but I do think a conversation is inevitable. She relies on me emotionally a lot and can be very draining, and sometimes it feels manipulative. She calls me crying when homesick, or she asks for work, academic help a lot, but doesn't really invite me to dinner or drinks when she goes out with other friends. Teenage girls can be awful, and I don't necessarily resent her, as it's been years since she would do stuff like not inviting me to group events or ghosting me during holidays, but I think it means I don't trust her. Our friendship has become a cycle of her using me, then ignoring me, but keeping me on the hook, and then love bombing me. I know you guys are pro ghosting, and hopefully you guys can give me tips, as she's recently started texting me a lot, and it feels dishonest in a way to just ignore it. I feel I owe her a conversation. You are so emotionally mature, and you've got a great way with words.
I had a friend that it wasn't that they were not inviting me to things, but they were very much, when we'd have conversations on the phone, it would be very much one-sided, and where she would dump all this stuff on me and then be like, okay, thank you for your help, bye. And then ask me how I was, how my day was. And I tried ghosting her, but then she like kept calling and then called me one time crying. And I was like, okay, I got to nip this shit in the bud. So I picked up the phone and I talked to her, and I told her exactly why she pissed me off and why this friendship was no longer working. And
how'd you take it?
I mean, she didn't take it well. And then later she tried to make up with it, but at least she didn't take it well, but I felt better. Yeah. So like, I'm not responsible for her emotions when she was always using me as an emotional crutch. You know, after it happened, we didn't talk for a few years. We later did she reached out for us to continue our friendship, and I wasn't really having it. She still thinks we're close. I don't know how. We rarely talk. But
those people always do.
I know. I mean, even like when I was home for Christmas, she was like, you were here and you didn't tell me? And I was like,
it's crazy sometimes the other realities people live in. And I go,
yeah,
it's crazy that I'm a main character in your story. And like you quite literally are not even making the first draft. Like it's so wild.
Yeah, but that's how things roll.
Yeah. I mean, I think Melissa's right. Like it's about what makes you feel better. And I think that like you can, I don't want to say like as people who ghost, like there are times where I'm like, oh, you know, that probably wasn't very nice. Like maybe I should have not ghosted, and then I'll like scroll up and then be like, oh, that's why I did this again. Like sometimes the distance in the space because you grow so much, you can think like, okay, I'm bigger than this, or I'm whatever, X, Y, and Z and all of that kind of stuff. But I do think in general, when people have grown and changed and like shown who they are, you don't have to ask for it. You would have seen that. So you being like, okay, yeah, she's, this was a long time ago that she did all this stuff. I'm like, did she ever apologize for doing that stuff? Like, has she mended that aspect of your friendship? Or has it just been like carrying on like none of that ever happened? Because to me, that is like, there's no growth there. And so I'm not holding you to the expectation of the standard of past you. I'm holding you to the version of you that I know. You've never introduced me to the new version. If we're not spending much time together, or our relationship, like, she's not doing the meanest things anymore, but she's like still doing the making it mostly about her kind of a thing. I think in general, a soft ghost is the best way to like gauge how you feel. And it can be very abrupt for some people to just be like, oh my God, they just dropped off the face of the planet. Like, I never hear from them again. But like just being straight up and being like, hey, I cannot afford a $400 plane ticket. Like, that's not going to happen. Stuff's really busy with work. And I'm not gonna be able to do that. And then the next time she calls, like, don't answer or don't call her back right away. Like, give yourself some space and clarity of that too, because it'll also help you make a better decision on, do I want to say something to her? And then also, why do you want to say something? If you're trying to lessen the blow, like, it's going to hurt no matter what. If you're trying to get some like closure, I don't know that she's going to provide that to you at all. I've done like a soft ghost of just like, or like an anticipated ghost of being like, hey, I need some like space. Like, I love you so much. This has been like hard, or this has been a lot. Like, I can't do this right now. And then, you come back and like things are good, but you need that kind of like space and clarity for this. And sometimes that space and clarity is quite literally just like ignoring phone calls and ignoring text messages and like not responding. And like, it's not great behavior. I've done it. I do it. And, but at the end of the day, sometimes I know if I'm going to talk to you about it, what I'm going to say is not going to be nice. It's not going to be nicer. And like, I'd rather not get into all that. Also because like, not to be a bitch or whatever, but sometimes you just don't think that, or like there has been no evidence that they've shown you that they are going to either take it well or have grown or changed to any of this. And it's like, it's a moot point. It's like so fucking useless. Like, you already know how the conversation is going to go. You know how all this is going to go down. And so sometimes just avoiding that conversation is better, because they can create whatever reality in their head, because they're not going to accept the actual real reality, which is, hey, we're grown apart and you have not been a very good friend. And the older you get, the more you realize you can like look at friendships and see like, oh, this person was not treating me well and I thought they were, but this is like a very normal, common thing. But I'm a big believer in like taking breaks to regroup and then figure out what you want to do.
All right, let's take a break. When we get back, we'll get into some more.
We are so excited to have a brand new sponsor, and I'm feeling very cool because Jesse and Lily are sponsored by OneSkin, and now we are.
Yay!
We are finally here. Skincare, we love skincare. We're all about it. And let's talk about peptides for a minute. If you're like me, you're seeing them everywhere. Peptide this, peptide that, peptide. It's almost a tongue twister. Just because something says peptide on it doesn't actually mean that it's really doing anything for you, but that is where OneSkin's OS1 peptide is different. Some peptides just sit on top of the skin, and OS1 goes deeper. It's scientifically formulated to penetrate the cells within skin's deeper layers, which improves key skin health markers like collagen production, hydration, and my personal uphill battle constantly, skin barrier function.
I think that's both of our uphill battles.
Truly.
I was so excited to get this as well because I just ran out of my other moisturizer, so it was perfect timing. Not only is OS1 proven to remain stable from the lab to the countertop, so you get reliable results every time. And guys, listen, if you're not getting results from your peptides, it might be time to take a closer look. All of OneSkin's topical supplements are backed by lab and clinical studies. And they're all powered by OS1 peptide, the first and only peptide that is scientifically proven to target senescent cells that contribute to lines, wrinkles, and thinning skin. Try OneSkin with an exclusive 15% off your first purchase using Blame Me at oneskin.co.
I love these products. I've been trying out the Essential Moisturizer and the Essential Eye Cream. And for me, eye cream is one of those things that like, I love a little luxury eye cream. I love to like feel that, but specifically the older that I get, and also sometimes if my sleep is not that great, I really notice the lines under the eyes. And I always want my makeup to apply better. And what I love about this is it looks so nice if I put it on, no makeup on, but I also can apply makeup on it. It's not just for like that really rich overnight kind of a thing. It's really a daily thing that you can use. And it just looks and feels really good. And the moisturizer.
Oh, can I talk about that? Because sometimes my skin is very dry and scaly. Sometimes my skin is very oily. Sometimes my skin, I'm like, what even is this? But this face moisturizer is perfect. It goes on very smooth. It's not too thick, but you can feel the moisture in it. And then afterwards, after it's like really soaked in, you can just feel just how supple your skin is.
That's the perfect word, supple. And just like us, OneSkin loves science. So glad to hear. We love science in this house.
We do love science.
And OneSkin's entire R&D process is run in-house, strictly adhering to the rigor of scientific process from start to finish. Every claim is based on lab or clinical studies, and it's documented.
Founded and led by an all-woman team of skin and longevity scientists, OneSkin is redefining the aging process with their proprietary OS1 peptide, the first ingredient proven to help skin look, feel, and behave like its younger self.
Get 15% off with code BLAMEME at oneskin.co. That's 15% off oneskin.co with code BLAMEME. After your purchase, they'll ask where you heard about them. Please support our show and tell them that we sent you. Invest in the health and longevity of your skin with OneSkin. Your future self will thank you.
As a podcast network, our first priority has always been audio and the stories we're able to share with you. But at Realm, we also sell some pretty cool merch, and organizing that was made both possible and easy with Shopify. When you think about successful businesses like Aloe or Allbirds or Skims, an often overlooked secret is the business behind the business that makes selling and, for shoppers, buying simple. For millions of businesses, that business is Shopify. That's because nobody does selling better than Shopify. It's the home of the #1 checkout on the planet. And the not-so-secret secret that's definitely worth talking about is that Shop Pay boosts conversions up to 50%. That's more happy customers and way more sales going. If you're hoping to grow your business, your commerce platform better be ready to sell wherever your customers are scrolling or strolling, on the web, in your store, in their feed, and everywhere in between. Businesses that sell more sell on Shopify. Upgrade your business and get the same checkout we use with Shopify. Sign up for your $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/realm, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/realm to upgrade your selling today. Shopify.com/realm.
Look around. You can find cars like these on AutoTrader, like that car right in your tail. Or if you're tailgating right now, all those cars doubling as kitchens and living rooms are on AutoTrader too. Are you working out and listening to this ad at the same time? Well, multitasking pro, cars like the ones in the gym parking lot are for sale on AutoTrader. New cars, used cars, electric cars, maybe even flying cars. Okay, no flying cars, but as soon as they get invented, they'll be on AutoTrader. Just you wait. AutoTrader.
We're back. It's time for the next.
I, 22, she, her, just ended my relationship of 4 years. It's 4-year relationships. Our lives are going in completely different directions, and I just had a gut feeling that I needed to end things. I'm post-grad and starting my career in another state, and he decided after he graduates college, he wants to join law enforcement. And that is something that does not align with my morals, future desires. I also never felt like I was getting what I needed in the relationship in terms of being shown love despite communicating it many times. We have been with each other since we were 18 years old, all of college, but I knew deep down he was not my person for a while now. It was just a matter of walking away. I am looking for advice on how to move forward from this. I feel so guilty that I have hurt him, and I'm grieving what was a very happy 4 years. I am so proud of myself for choosing me. This is definitely the hardest thing I've ever had to do. I've been following the podcast since the beginning, so any and all advice would be appreciated. I think it's just time. You're going through a transitional period. You're done with school, and now it's time to get into I don't like to say the real world because college is real world for that time period, but for the next phase of your life. And I think moving forward, you can't think of it as in moving forward away from him. It's moving forward into that next phase in your life. So what do you like to do? Do you have hobbies? Do you have things that, like, there are things that you always wanted to do and he never wanted to do it? And you're like, okay, now I can do it because I don't have this person nagging me in my ear. Do some self-care, do some journaling. I'm not personally a journaling person, but some people like it. I like to get massages and lay in salt baths. So just figure out what those things are. Try new things. Go look at your community like page and see what kind of activities are happening in your town for people around your age. What are your friends doing? Reconnect if there are times where your friendships like kind of fell off because he was always there, or they had feelings about this guy sucked, but we don't know how to tell her. This can be the time to strengthen and rebuild your friendships because they probably always knew too. And now they can say those things. They can say those things that they always wanted to say to you. And then,
bated breath.
Yeah, and then that shit will probably make you look at him
cathartic.
And you'll be like, ugh, I can't believe I ever liked that guy.
I can't believe I'm mourning this. Like it'll help so much.
But also, like, don't beat yourself up in the fact that like it's harder to move forward because this person was in your life for a big chunk of time and a very significant time in your life. That 18 to 22-year-old, like that is a big growing period of becoming an adult and figuring out who you are as an adult. But like now that you don't have that school pressure, like this is new. This is new, and it's going to be an exciting time. And I'm excited for you.
I agree with all of that. As someone who has like been a friend on the periphery, like it's obviously not the same as college, but growing up in a really small town in like a very small community, people date for a really fucking long time. Like lots of people date. There's lots of like, you know, friend groups, everybody's hooking with each other. But then there are also people who like quite literally started dating in 5th grade and like broke up like our junior or senior year of high school. Like it's fucking a lot. And have been ditched by friends, any of that stuff. I have never, ever, ever had any reaction other than like welcome with open arms to a friend who like we, whether lost touch or even if I felt slighted or hurt that they picked their partner over. That is so water under the bridge. Like I was so excited, like so happy when people would like, they end their relationships, even if I liked the person. And I'm just like, oh my God, like come over, let's hang out. Like there is unfortunately, I think sometimes in relationships, and I'm not saying that you did this or ever intentionally did this, but there's like a lot of shaming when people are single, if a lot of other people in relationships, or like, oh, I want to set you up with someone. Oh, I feel bad for you, or whatever that kind of is. And like, then when that relationship ends, feeling like that has been such a huge part of your identity is being in a relationship that it's like, well, I don't want to like go back to my single friends who like, you know, if they felt some type of way about, you know, me being all about relationships or whatever. It's not like that. Like it's such an ebb and a flow. And to me, I would say like reconnect, even if it's with people that like you haven't talked to in a while. Like it doesn't have to be, you have to find a new best friend or whatever, but like just reconnect with anyone and kind of like view it how dating is, where it's like get the training wheels, like just start the things, like even if it's something as simple as like starting a conversation with Melissa hates this, but starting a conversation with like the person at the checkout line, like just talking to like people who you seem like you want to be friends with, or like, oh, you like someone's outfit or whatever. And I would really focus on that in the sense of like making friends that way and not putting all of your energy into your work and not putting all your energy into making friends at work. Like there is so much about a relationship that is great. And it's usually like a built-in best friend, a built-in relationship, you know, a comfort, all of that kind of stuff. And unfortunately, we can like shift that to other things. So like you throw everything into work. Then you have this expectation on you from other people that like, this is the level of burnout that you're going to be achieving because you want to throw everything into it. Or like, okay, well, I can have my best friend at work and I'm at work there and maybe I can date someone there. Like sow your seed, like spread it out in a way that like, even something as simple as, I think you said did you say you're moving? Yeah, starting your career in another state. Even something as simple as like, if you have a friend from high school or college or a friend of a friend, someone's cousin who knows someone who lives in that same city, and then just like meeting up for coffee, like meeting up for like hanging out with that in like a friendship setup date kind of way. I just think there's so many amazing opportunities for this. And I would just encourage you to like build a healthy social life, even if it doesn't rely on other people yet. Like, even if it's just like going on a walk, or like if you have a dog, like taking a dog on a walk, going to a coffee store, going to a bookshop, doing things where you're getting out of the house and not throwing everything into work, to just sort of build up that social aspect of your life that like maybe hasn't been as prominent for so long. And then for me, when I like have moved to places, because I moved to LA, like didn't really know many people, like for me, like I was working so much, and I don't like totally regret that part of it, but like it was a very different time period. There was only people my age there were working. Like that was the only thing we weren't in school. But when I didn't have a lot of friends, like I would call my friends from back home and talk to them on the phone while I'm like out and about doing whatever. So like you're still getting that social aspect of it, and it helps you like, you know, build up that confidence. So I think that this, like Melissa said, this is a really exciting time, and knowing that this is like not who you would want to be. And like, I can't stress you the life of someone who started dating their boyfriend at 18, who then goes into law enforcement. It's not a happy life. Like, that's not the ending of it. Like, and I'm so glad you know that, but like, that's just doesn't work out well. So I think that like knowing that about yourself is great, and you've got so much more to, you know, learn. And he might be upset and might be sad, but such is life. Like, breakups happen. And I think it's good to know when it's time to call it quits, to keep growing and learning. And he's not growing into someone that I particularly like.
Me either. Probably wouldn't like him now. Not just growing.
No. Mm-hmm.
Hey guys, have you heard of Goldbelly? It's this amazing site where they ship the most iconic famous foods from restaurants across the country, anywhere, nationwide. I've never found a more perfect gift than food. They ship Chicago deep dish pizza, New York bagels, Maine lobster rolls, and even Ina Garten's famous cakes. So if you're looking for a gift for the food lover in your life, head to goldbelly.com and get 20% off your first order with promo code GIFT.
Welcome to the White Lotus in Thailand. It's a wellness center. You should get a facial. The lady in the airport thought you were my dad.
Oh my God.
The Emmy Award-winning HBO original series returns.
There has been more crime on the island.
Well, I'm a little freaked out. What happens in Thailand stays in Thailand. Oh, what does that mean? It means we're not dead yet.
Amen.
Amen.
A new season of the HBO original series The White Lotus premieres February 16th at 9 p.m. on Max.
You found your person. Now let the Knot help you with everything else. The Knot connects you to the wedding inspo, vendors, venues, and planning tools you need to make your day totally you. Having helped plan 25 million weddings, we've got your back when it comes to every little detail like RSVPs, budgets, and more. Because your wedding comes to life with the connections that matter the most. Get started at theknot.com/audio. The Knot. Let's plan your wedding together.
I'm 18, a college freshman, and I'm in a tricky situation with a guy from down the hall, Chris. Before break, we were casual friends, and I even helped him pursue another girl. Since returning, it's clear he's interested in me. Last weekend, we both blacked out and hooked up. Not ideal. We woke up with fragmented memories, and while I initially told him I remembered nothing, which was true then, this is triggering. I'm now recalling how truly awful this sex was. I want to end things, but he is so sweet. We have great conversations, and he keeps asking to hang out. Each time I see him, I chicken out. I'm not attracted to him. I feel the quote-unquote we don't remember card is the cleanest way out before things escalate. My friends are split on whether I should give him a chance, but I need a definitive answer. Separately, I just ended a 4-year relationship. Oh my God. I thought I wanted to end things, but he's obviously still interested in me and is always asking me to hang out. And every time I see him, I don't end it because he's so sweet and I love talking to him. I'm just not very attracted to him, and I feel like if I'm going to end it, now would be the best time because we quote-unquote don't remember having sex before it happens again. Everyone I've talked to is so split on whether I should give him a chance, and I really needed a nice definitive answer. Love you both. Quite literally, this never happened. You don't remember it.
You don't remember it.
And the mind is a powerful tool.
The thing is if you are that far gone, you can't even consent to having sex. Was he actually drunk too? Is my first question.
And you're not interested in this, and so like it didn't happen. If you don't have to remember it.
Just because he's a nice guy doesn't mean you need to be friends with somebody.
Also doesn't mean you have to have sex. Even if he's a nice guy and you like talking to him, doesn't mean you have to have sex with him.
You're not attracted to him.
No. And like, just because like, oh, well, he's so nice. And it's like, okay,
So what?
the sex was bad and I didn't like it and I'm not attracted to him. Okay. An acquaintance, a colleague. It can't even be a friend, but also like, you don't have to be friends with this guy either. Like,
no.
I think that your friends who are saying anything besides this, to me, it's just like, if they're women, like girls, you're very young.
I mean, they're young and I don't think that they're completely grasping the severity of this situation.
Well, that's what I was going to say, that like, I think not only shutting down your friends who are saying that, but then also being like, you guys, we don't have to do that. Like, that's not how this works. And like, there is like, this is a very normalized behavior and like mindset to be in as like a young girl. Like, it just is so fucking, I've been there. It's very fucking common. And I think that like, we all benefit so much from when either women who are more experienced than us or older than us or whatever, like just like tell it to you fucking straight. And I think that's what this is. And it's not about like, you know, well, this friend would do this and this friend would do this or whatever. It's hypotheticals at that point. It's all hypotheticals. It's not like an actual instance and an actual thing that's going on. And at the end of the day, the reason why those friends might be like, you should do this, is because it's obligation of the patriarchy. Like, it's just what that is. And so calling that out by its name and like pointing it out there and not just like, oh, this makes me feel icky or whatever, but like acknowledging like, this does not make me feel good. And like, now that I've sat with this and like the idea that like I should continue to pursue this. And like, I think it's very odd that like we've both said that we don't remember and like he seemingly is okay with that. And like, we're just supposed to like keep talking, moving on. Like, this is like, I just don't feel good about this. And like, I don't think like if any of you came to me and said this, I would be like, I don't like that. Like, that doesn't feel good. And I really like, I'm not going to pursue this. And like, I think your friends will thank you when they end up in these situations, because unfortunately, most of the time people who can look at this from like that this is like not an okay thing. And you don't say less, like you don't have to do any of this aspect of it or feel bad at all. The people who are able to say that, it's because they've learned, they've come through the other side of it. And I think that I like wish I could give like a seminar to like young girls being like, if you are not attracted to him, if you don't like him, that's a full set. That's it. There doesn't have to be like, even if he's hot, even if he's popular, even if he's cool, even if he's really nice to you, like this idea that like,
don't like him. You just like, don't like him.
And we don't do this with friends. And that's what I really, really, really hate, is that like, we're supposed to be deemed as like, so simultaneously like so tempting. Like, you can't have your shoulders out, can't have tank top, like be careful of all these boys, but then like, you know, don't focus on boys. But then like the second that you get to a certain age, it's like, well, this one likes you, or you could end up alone. And it's this back, like pull and push of this thing of like, you cannot be tempting or desirable, but at the same time, if this person desires you, probably no one else is ever going to, so you have to accept it. And like, that is just like the wrong rhetoric. And you wouldn't hang out with someone who you didn't like. And like, as a friend, you wouldn't want to spend time with them. And like, a romantic aspect should be a friendship plus more. Like, there should be all of that aspects to it there. And it just screams of like insecurity and inexperience to me for people who are telling you that you should be giving him a chance. And you like quite literally never have to talk to him again.
I'm going to get very, very, very serious. And what Megan said, everything she said was spot on. And I'm just going to take it a step further. When I was in college, we had to have these like training seminars about alcohol situations. And then also with me working with the track team, I had to take these classes and pass this tests about sexual harassment. And according to both those things that I've done, this would have been considered not just sexual harassment, but because you had sex blacked out, then this is rape. At the end of the day, this is rape. Whether he was drinking or not, because you were blacked out, you could not consent to this. So therefore, anybody that is okay with that, this is not somebody you should be friends with.
Nope. And I have never in my life, of the good guys I have dated or have liked, none of them would have hooked up with me, had texted me, even while we were in a relationship, while I was drunk.
Blackout drunk at that.
Nope, would never have. Would quite literally never. Like, it's never. And I also, like, and I guess if we're gonna, like, very serious aspect of it, I would ask yourself who brought up the not remembering first, because I don't think he doesn't remember.
Yep.
And I wish this was like a totally uncommon thing. I've been there. Like, quite literally, the best thing I ever did was pretend that person never exists. Like, it was like, don't know. If I wouldn't make that decision sober, if that was not something that I went, my night of this, my sober planning of the night, that was not on my bucket. That was not what I was trying to do. And that is the circumstance and the outcome that happened. That was not what I consented to and not what I was seeking or looking for whatsoever. I, as a sober person, am not fucking responsible for that person's feelings. I'm not responsible. I didn't ask for that. I didn't look for that. I wasn't wanting that. That's not what the plan was. That's not what I was Sometimes things happen, and however you view it in your own personal level of, like, comfort, or however you handle that or whatever. But at the end of the day, anyone who's telling you that you need to consider his feelings for that, he should feel so fucking gross and icky inside. Even if he had a crush on you, he, like, would not be able to, like, pursue. Like, this is not, you don't pursue something off the heels of this.
Mm-hmm. And so as your memories are coming back, because it seems like they might be slowly coming back, I know it's scary to think about, but maybe sit with those memories, and you can take with it from once, like, if they come back, or even just what you have now, take from it what you want to take from it, and you can call what happened what you want to call it. But if you wanted to report this at some point, you can and you should, because what he did was not okay.
And it can even be the level of reporting in the sense of, like, you want to switch to a different hall. You want him to switch to a different hall. Like, you don't have to press charges against him, but I think a lot of people view it in extremes. Like, there's only this option or that option. There's not that. Like, there's even just telling your RA that you don't feel comfortable being around this person. Like, there are so many steps and things that you can do for that. But, you know, even if you're friends with this person, quote unquote friends, friendly, nice conversationalist, all that, and you have felt that you can trust them, definitely also just get checked out too. Yep. Go to the doctor. Yep. And even if this was not the circumstance, going on a date with someone and then being feeling guilt tripped into continuing because they're, like, a nice guy or whatever, is, like, it's so toxic. And you can hold it against your friends without a doubt, but, like, it's like a really unfortunate, like, common mindset that we're put in as women. And I think that you've got a really great opportunity to kind of, like, put your foot down amongst your friends and then have them be like, you know what, you're right. Like, that it's not, because you're regurgitating what you've heard, or, like, all of these tropes and all of this kind of stuff, that, like, putting up with it is, like, not cute. It's not like, oh, it's romantic. It's not any of that. And we often don't get the say in how we handle things when things happen. And so when you do get that opportunity to do so, do it for you. Don't do it for, like, the voices of what other people are saying.
And I implore you, as you're processing this, to go talk to your school counselor, the therapists that are available to you, and they can talk you through everything. You can talk to them as much as you want about everything that happened and help you to continue to process this. All right, let's take a break.
Hello, I am Kristen Russo.
And I am Jenny Owen Youngs.
We are the hosts of Buffering the Vampire Slayer once more, with spoilers, a rewatch podcast covering all 144 episodes of, you guessed it, Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
We are here to humbly invite you to join us for our 5th Buffy prom, which, if you can believe it, we are hosting at the actual Sunnydale High School. That's right. On April 4th and 5th, we will be descending upon the campus of Torrance High School, which was the filming location for Buffy's Sunnydale High. To dance the night away to 90s music in the iconic courtyard, to sip on punch right next to the Sunnydale High fountain, and to nerd out together in our prom best inside of the set of Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
All information and tickets can be found at bufferingcast.com/prom. Come join us.
I'm Amy Nicholson, the film critic for the LA Times.
And I'm Paul Scheer, an actor, writer, and director. You might know me from The League, Veep, or my non-eligible for Academy Award role in Twisters.
We love movies, and we come at them from different perspectives.
Yeah, like Amy thinks that, Joe Pesci was miscast in Goodfellas, and I don't.
He's too old. Let's not forget that Paul thinks that Dune 2 is overrated.
It is.
Anyway, despite this, we come together to host Unspooled, a podcast where we talk about good movies, critical hits,
fan favorites, must-sees, and in case you missed them.
We're talking Parasite to Home Alone.
From Grease to The Dark Knight.
We've done deep dives on popcorn flicks. We've talked about why Independence Day deserves a second look.
And we've talked about horror movies, some that you've never even heard of, like Ganja and Hess.
So if you love movies like we do, come along on our cinematic adventure.
Listen to Unspooled wherever you get your podcasts.
And don't forget to hit the follow button.
Ladies and gentlemen.
What are you doing?
What do you mean?
Just keep it simple.
I'm making the promo.
Just keep it simple. Just say, hey, we're the Brav Bros. Two guys that talk about Bravo.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we're the Brav Bros.
No.
Oh.
Dude, stop with the voice. Just keep it simple.
I've seen promos on TV, dude. This is how you get the fans engaged. This is how you get listeners. We're trying to get listeners here. If we just say, oh, we're two dudes that talk about Bravo, people are going to get tired of it already. We need some oomph.
All right, then fine. Let's try to do it with your voice.
Brav Bros.
Good job.
We're back. And we have an update. I'm fucking ready for this. So this is an update from the person who wrote it about the boyfriend's dad house paying mortgage, that one. Hi, thank you for the advice. I do really appreciate it and really did help to solidify in my mind that this is kind of a fucked situation. I did want to clarify that the savings account thing, because I don't want you both to think that I am that complete of an idiot. Our mortgage is $2,300. My boyfriend pays $875, I pay $875, and our roommate pays $750. Each month, this money gets deposited into a bank account every month that my boyfriend and his dad are on. His dad views the bank account as his bank account, but my boyfriend's name is technically on it. The $2,300 mortgage comes out of there, and there is a 20% profit each month. The house is in a trust. All the parents' assets will go to the trust. My boyfriend also has a sister, and their parents have a document that basically dictates who gets what from the trust. The $750 that I pay right now, that I pay in rent right now, is affordable to me, meaning that I'm able to save a little bit and I feel relatively comfortable. Same with my boyfriend. If the two of us just paid the same mortgage ourselves, we could probably do it, but we would not be saving anything and the money would be a lot tighter. With this information in mind, I feel like moving out and having him rent to somebody else is still an option. This is kind of what I want to do, but it will really make my boyfriend's dad mad and will just be stressful to deal with. In addition, all of our furniture is also quote unquote house size, so we'd have to sell a lot and buy smaller things, and we do a lot of outdoor stuff, so we have a lot of gear that's hard to store in an apartment, which could be inconvenient but not impossible. But after hearing what you said and thinking about it a different way, I could probably propose that my boyfriend and I should pay less money in rent, $100 less per month, and we just save that money in our accounts. Is there anything you see that I'm not thinking about here? Does that sound like a good idea? I feel a little silly asking if you think that's a good idea, but you framed everything in a way that I hadn't thought about before, and I really appreciated your advice. I asked people I trust in my life about what I should do, and I haven't really gotten good advice, so thank you so, so much. Oh, so kind, so nice. I think that's a great idea.
You've got a little bit more money every month. It's going directly into your own savings account. But also, like, I don't, like, as far as, like, your boyfriend having to pay more or less, if he can afford what he's paying, then it's fine, because this will eventually be his house, right?
Yes. It sounds like the boyfriend does not have a close relationship. Like, he doesn't want to rock the boat at all. How old is dad? Like, because I think that, like, this, like, tiptoe kind of game of, like, he's gonna, like, boyfriend's dad will be very mad and all this kind of stuff. That's fair. That's fine. He's allowed to have feelings. He's allowed to be mad. He's allowed to be difficult. He's got the money. He's got the trust. How much of that do you want to put up with? Because if he's a young dad, there's going to be a lot of strings on this money that, like, because he's not getting it until he dies. Mm-hmm. So it's like, can you handle that? You know, like, it's a means to an end, but, like, at what point does that fuck with your sanity a little bit? So I think that the putting it into an account is like not a bad call at all. I am wondering why the roommate pays less.
Yes. Are they in a smaller room?
That's what I have to assume, but it's not half it's less than half. Like,
yeah,
that's not like an equitable split, really, which is fine. Like, again, that's if it's not hard for you, like, and you know, it's fine, I guess. But like, it's just, I have questions about that part of it too, because, you know, a lot of times people like try as couples will try and like live with a roommate because like as a couple you pay less because there's two of you using the same room and the same whatever. So I'm a little curious about that. I don't think it's like necessarily a bad thing. Maybe one of you has an office that you work from home and so you use that part of it. But I think that like, you know, if you're doing this, taking the money and putting it X, Y, and Z wherever, then I do think that you need to have that in writing with your boyfriend. And I do think that you should have it in your own separate account. I don't think you should share that account with him.
Nope. It should be your own account unless your name is also on the trust.
That's what I was about to say. And then here's the other part. You either like, depending on how much time and money and effort and all of the stuff you're going to put into this, because the issue is like when you have this aspect of it writing on the relationship, it puts a strain on your relationship too. And you're going to have to like deal with like the in-law stuff before you usually would have to, because they have their hands in more stuff. And if it was me, I need a return on investment. Like, so I either need a ring, I need us to get married, or I need my name on that trust. But like, I'm not going to put up with this with hopefully an engagement in the future. Like that's just, so I do think at that point, like, and I don't know if you're ready for that or not, but if you're not ready for that, then I think you just need to view this as
this is just
rent.
A landlord situation.
This is just my landlord and this is rent. And then that's it.
Yep. If you don't want to ever like marry this person or like this is your forever person, then you just have to think about this as I'm paying rent and that's it. And then this is for him. This is a different. I think you're doing too much thinking of you two as a couple, but you're in an unfair situation here because this will be his thing that he eventually inherits, not yours.
It will be his regardless if you're a couple or not. If you are not a couple, this will not be yours. And so that's fine. Like I'm a big believer in like, yeah, you shouldn't be putting money and investing into those things that like you get nothing in return for unless you're not ready for that commitment. In which case, then you're not ready to be on the deed for this. You're not ready to do any of that kind of stuff. You can't have it both ways. Either the relationship is to the level of, which is again, fair, that you're like, I don't want to put this money in, like this feels icky. I'm just paying landlord, all of that kind of stuff. He's either your landlord or he's like your father-in-law. And there's got to be something there. And I think like if you are ready to take that next step in the relationship and like get this more formal documentation and he's hesitant or his family's hesitant, run.
Yep. So yeah, I thank you for breaking all that down for us. And I'm going back to what Megan said about the roommate paying less. If you two are sharing a room, then you shouldn't be paying a third of the rent.
More, they're paying $850. They're paying $750.
Yeah,
that's
so it needs to be. You should think about it being paid by room. So the roommate should be paying more, even if your room is bigger. There's still two of you that are in one room.
As I said, only if there's an office that you are using and that is just yours. But
or
like,
if there's like parts of the house that they don't have access to, like
garage or
like how you guys work in the whatever you say. What did they say they were doing? Working in the yard.
Yeah, but yard is I would say like a deck that attaches from your room, like things that like are, you know,
very specific
specific
that only you have access to, but otherwise they should be paying more than that. That's not fair for you.
Yeah, the primary bedroom will cost more, but it will not cost more while it's also being split. It will cost more, but it will cost less individually because you're splitting that cost.
So like, let's say if you were doing it by room, like y'all were paying $1,000 for your room and then the roommate was paying $800 for their room, you should only be paying $500 a piece.
Yeah, that's exactly it. And I think that like, I don't know, I would also ask yourself, is the mortgage actually $2,300?
Yep.
Because that is, it's a weird breakdown number for what you and your boyfriend are paying. That why is specifically in the case for the dad, why is the dad charging his son more than he's charging a roommate?
Mm-hmm.
That makes me think that maybe he's overcharging more than just $200.
All right. Well, hope that helps. Let us know if you want any more advice.
Yeah. We're always here. And again, I don't think you should deal with in-law problems without in-law money.
Mm-hmm. That's the end of the episode.
It is. We hope you all enjoyed. And don't forget to write in, call in, submit. We've got that Google sheet that's Melissa said it's in our Instagram bio now. And you can also fill out if you have an update. You want to be like, hey, I have an update. Like, we'd love to talk about. Sorry, I just was possessed by the ghost of RFK.
Junior.
So sorry.
Yes.
That is a very good distinction to make.
Yes. And he is still with us.
Oh, not physically. Not. Also, not all parts of it physically. Some gone to the worms.
Ish.
Mm-hmm. And so we would love to hear from you with, whether it's updates or you need some advice, and we can help you out with that. We've got a Patreon. You can watch a video version, and you can also leave a review for the podcast anywhere. I mean, really, Apple Podcasts, Spotify. We love it. We love to hear it. Get the merch and stay tuned for the rest of the shows that we have coming out for you this week.
Tune in tomorrow for Fisting Friday, Monday for But Am I Wrong, Tuesday for See You Next Tuesday, Wednesday, you're just catching up. Thursday, we'll be back here for Don't Blame Me.
And everybody wish Melissa a happy birthday in 2 days. Goodbye.
Peace.
This is a Sister Sign production hosted by me, Megan Rinks.
And me, Melissa D. Montz, plus Diamond Imprint Productions.
Post-production by Coco Lorenz.
Production assistance by Melanie D. Watson.
And music by Ryan Hunter and Giacomo Picasso.
In humanity's search for other worlds, we found something unexpected.
It's a massive collection of tiny pocket realities, and each one is a story.
So we can actually transcend our usual 4 dimensions of space and time to go physically into these stories?
Yes, using the Muse Pod.
But when we explored those stories, things didn't go as planned.
Mr. Darcy? That horrid man.
I am Mr. Sherlock Holmes.
None of us have been the same since Beth died.
What happens when classic stories go wrong? I go in to fix them.
Ah, humbug.
Oh, Romeo, Romeo, wherefore art thou Romeo?
For the love of God, Montfessor!
Subscribe and listen to Muse, the latest audio drama from Dayton Writers Movement and Realm.
I am Dracula, and I bid you welcome.
Hi, this is Rob Benedict.
And I am Richard Spate. We were both on a little show you might know called Supernatural.
It had a pretty good run, 15 seasons, 327 episodes.
And though we have seen, of course, every episode many times, we figured, hey, now that we're wrapped, let's watch it all again.
And we can't do that alone, so we're inviting the cast and crew that made the show along for the ride. We've got writers, producers, composers, directors, and we'll of course have some actors on as well, including some certain guys that played some certain pretty iconic brothers.
It was kind of a little bit of a left field choice in the best way possible.
The note from Kripke was, he's great, we love him, but we're looking for like a really intelligent Duchovny type.
With 15 seasons to explore, it's going to be the road trip of several lifetimes. So please join us and subscribe to Supernatural then and now.
Listening to a podcast should be time well spent, and I promise it will be if you'll give this podcast a try. It's called Something You Should Know. I'm the host, Mike Carruthers, and in every episode, I talk with leading experts on topics I know you will find fascinating. From why people can't keep secrets, what your favorite music says about you, why your pet acts in strange ways, and so much more. Something You Should Know is designed to give you information you can use in your life and give you great intel that you can share with others. I'm told it's a binge-worthy podcast. And with over 1,000 episodes, there's a lot to binge on. Something You Should Know has been ranked in the top of the Apple Podcast charts consistently for a long time. I know you're going to like this. I just need to get you to try it. Something You Should Know. It's available wherever you listen to podcasts.